Hi, this tutorial is to help struggling pianists who have been asked to play the organ last minute to feel a little more confident in their skills and being able to play in front of a congregation when they're not feeling like much of organists.
This is part 2 of the Organ Basics series. We will cover building your own stops and playing smoothly.
Now, if you want to manually adjust your stops, you can press the bottom of it to turn it on and the top to press it off. It's opposite of a light switch. So off on the top, on the bottom. And so when I am building stops, I always try and do a 16 and an 8 and a 4. And that will give you a balanced sound that doesn't sound too muddy. So for the pedal, I'm going to do the 16 bourdon and the 8 flute and the 4 choral bass. And I am going to put the bass coupler on so that that sound is incorporated to my lowest note. And with the great, I'm going to do a 16 and an 8 and a 4. So if the organ that you're playing with doesn't have any presets already on it, you can build something using a 16 and an 8 and a 4. If you don't like how the 16 sounds, then turn it off and add a 2 instead.
Here's a few things to mention about stops before we move on. On older organs or pipe organs, the stops are round knobs that activate when you pull them out. The phrase, pulling out all the stops, is actually an organ phrase, which means you're holding nothing back. If you were to literally pull out all the stops on the organ, it would be playing its very loudest with all of its sounds. But this is not the prettiest or most refined of sounds that the organ can create. It's just big and loud. Hopefully, you're feeling unstoppable with your knowledge of organ stops. So let's get to actual playing of songs. I recommend you learn more songs than chopsticks to accompany your congregation. My final tip for beginning organists is to play smoothly.
And so now you're ready to start playing. And with the organ, you want to play very smoothly and connectedly. There is no sustain pedal on the organ, so you must sustain with your fingers. So if you were to play this song, Love at Home, like you would on the piano, it's going to sound very different on the organ. So I'm going to demonstrate that. On the piano, but it sounds like a pianist is trying to play the organ. So what you're going to do is you're going to slow things down a little bit. You're going to try and connect everything from one note to the next, and you do not have to play every single note on the left hand, especially if it's a slower song. Frequently I omit some of the bass notes. If there's 4 repeating notes in a line, I get rid of some of them. So you'll hear this. My fingers used some unusual fingering. If you are going to make it sound connected and smooth, your fingering is going to be different than it is on the piano. So feel free to experiment with different fingerings, and if it feels like your fingers are doing twister, then you're playing the organ correctly. Now, for faster songs, you do need to play more of the bass notes, and you would want to change stops. These stops that I just chose were a little bit softer and more gentle, but a song like Battle Hymn of the Republic needs a bigger sound. So we're gonna go and find some sounds that are better for it, just using the presets. So I'm still on memory 1 and memory 2. Usually the more lights equals a bigger sound. So we're gonna try this one. Yeah, that's a better one. And I always put the bass coupler on if it's not one of the presets already. And I am going to play more of the left-hand notes to keep the tempo going on this, but I'm still going to try and play it smoothly. So obviously if you have a choice of songs, slower is easier on the organ. So I hope that this helped, this tutorial, and I hope that you can have some confidence in playing the organ if you get asked to last minute.